Imagine waking up tomorrow, you check your passport. At the top, it doesn't say Italy. It says the Roman Empire. The most powerful person on earth isn't a president or a prime minister, it's Caesar. The Senate still meets in Rome. Latin is spoken by billions of people. And the empire that once ruled the ancient world never fell. No dark ages, no medieval kingdoms, no France, no Germany, no Spain, just one civilization surviving for 2,000 years. But would humanity be living in a golden age? Or would we still be trapped under the shadow of an empire too powerful to ever change? Let's find out. Everything begins in the year 395 AD. In our timeline, Emperor Theodosius I divided the Roman Empire between his two sons. The East became Byzantium. The West slowly collapsed. Just 81 years later, in 476 AD, the last Western emperor was removed from power. Most historians consider that moment the end of ancient Rome. But imagine a different story. Theodosius keeps the empire united. Germanic tribes aren't treated as enemies. Instead, they're integrated as Roman citizens and soldiers. Tax reforms reduce corruption. The military becomes more professional. Local leaders receive greater autonomy while remaining loyal to Rome. The empire adapts instead of breaking. At its height, Rome ruled around 70 million people, nearly 20% of humanity at the time. No civilization in Western history had ever controlled so much land, wealth, and population. And now, it survives. The collapse of Rome changed everything. The city of Rome itself fell from over 1 million inhabitants to perhaps just 30,000 during the early Middle Ages. Aqueducts stopped functioning, road networks deteriorated, libraries disappeared, trade collapsed, knowledge became fragmented. For centuries, Europe developed far more slowly than before. Historians still debate how dark the Dark Ages truly were, but there is little doubt that Rome's fall transformed civilization. In our alternate timeline, that transformation never comes. The famous Roman road system, over 400,000 kilometers long, with around 80,000 kilometers paved in stone, continues expanding. Engineering schools evolve into universities centuries earlier. The knowledge of Roman concrete, some of which still survives after 2,000 years, keeps improving. Printing technology might appear hundreds of years sooner. Mechanical innovations spread through a connected empire. The Renaissance, as we know it, might never happen because the knowledge that needed to be rediscovered was never lost in the first place. The modern map of Europe could look completely unrecognizable. France, still called Gaul, Spain, Hispania, Britain, Britannia, Germany, perhaps divided into Roman frontier provinces rather than independent kingdoms. National identities might exist, but under a larger Roman identity. Instead of being French, German, or Spanish, people could see themselves first as Roman citizens. Latin becomes the language of administration, science, and trade. Today, English is spoken by roughly 1.5 billion people. In this timeline, a modern version of Latin might become humanity's dominant language. Airports, universities, governments, the internet, everything in Latin. And what about America? Without competing European kingdoms racing across the oceans, history changes dramatically. Perhaps Rome discovers the Americas later, or perhaps a unified imperial fleet reaches them centuries earlier. The New World might contain provinces with names like Nova Roma, Nova Hispania, or Caesarea, entire continents built under the eagle of Rome. Religion could change even more dramatically. Christianity spread through Roman infrastructure, roads, trade routes, cities, administration, but a united empire creates new possibilities. The Protestant Reformation might never happen. Martin Luther never challenges Rome. The 30 Years' War, which killed perhaps 8 million people, never takes place. A single church could dominate Europe for centuries. But there is another possibility. Ancient Rome was surprisingly tolerant of local religions. The empire often allowed conquered peoples to keep their traditions as long as they respected Roman authority. Perhaps modern Rome evolves into a multi-faith civilization. One state, many beliefs, a system built on coexistence rather than uniformity. History could move in a completely different direction. People often underestimate Roman innovation. They built one of history's greatest infrastructure networks. Their aqueducts delivered hundreds of millions of liters of water every single day. Many cities had sewer systems and public sanitation. The wealthy heated their homes using underfloor heating systems called hypocausts. Roman concrete remains so durable that scientists still study its properties today. And within the Roman world existed the Antikythera mechanism, an ancient Greek device so sophisticated that many describe it as the world's first analog computer. The foundations for future technological revolutions already existed. If those systems continued developing without interruption, human progress might accelerate significantly, not by 1,000 years, but perhaps by centuries. The Industrial Revolution could begin earlier. Scientific institutions might emerge sooner. The world of 2026 could be noticeably more advanced than our own, or something entirely different could happen, because empires love stability, and stability can sometimes kill innovation. The Europe we know developed through competition. Hundreds of kingdoms fought for power. New ideas spread from one nation to another. If one country invented better ships, others followed. If one state improved its weapons, everyone adapted. Competition forced progress. But what happens when one empire controls everything? One government, one bureaucracy, one educational system, one official version of truth. A bad emperor, a conservative senate, or a fear of change could slow human advancement for generations. History offers examples. Large unified states sometimes maintained incredible stability, while smaller competing powers innovated faster. The eternal Roman Empire could become humanity's greatest achievement or humanity's greatest limitation. And that's where this alternate history becomes truly fascinating. Without independent European nations, would the world avoid the First and Second World Wars? Possibly. World War I killed around 20 million people. World War II claimed more than 70 million lives. Those conflicts emerged from nationalism, rival alliances, and competition between sovereign states. But a united Rome introduces another danger: civil wars. Imagine conflicts stretching from Britannia to North Africa. Hundreds of millions of citizens choosing different visions for the empire's future. History already showed how devastating Roman civil wars could be. Now multiply that across a civilization 2,000 years old. The world might avoid global wars between nations, only to face colossal struggles within the empire itself. Let's imagine the most successful version of this timeline. Rome survives, modernizes, industrializes, and adapts to every challenge. The empire becomes less centralized, more like a massive federation of provinces. The Senate still exists, perhaps the oldest continuously functioning political institution in human history. The emperor remains, but mostly as a constitutional figure, a living symbol of Roman civilization. Latin evolves into a modern global language. Rome itself becomes one of Earth's great megacities. Ancient monuments stand beside glass skyscrapers. High-speed rail follows routes first established by Roman engineers 2,000 years earlier. Legionary eagles still fly during national ceremonies. Ancient traditions survive inside a futuristic world. The Roman Empire no longer rules through conquest. It rules through continuity. 2,000 years of uninterrupted civilization, something humanity has never witnessed. But here is the greatest irony of all. Maybe Rome had to fall, because when Rome collapsed, Europe fragmented, competition emerged, ideas spread, the Renaissance happened. The scientific revolution transformed human understanding. The Industrial Revolution changed civilization forever. The modern world was born. Rome gave humanity roads, law, architecture, engineering, language, government. But its collapse may have given humanity something even more important: the freedom to experiment, the freedom to compete, the freedom to build something entirely new. So what if Rome never fell? Would we live in a better world? Or would we still be standing beneath marble ceilings, waiting for an empire that had simply grown too large to evolve? Perhaps the fall of Rome wasn't the end of a civilization. Perhaps it was the beginning of ours. What do you think? Would an eternal Roman Empire create humanity's greatest golden age or its greatest stagnation? Let me know in the comments. And subscribe for more journeys into alternate history. Because sometimes the most fascinating question in history isn't what happened, it's what almost happened.